Hello YouTube, welcome to my first vlog. I don't know what it's called, maybe what's new in USS this week or something. Anyway, Halloween Horror Nights is starting next week and I've been putting up a lot of photo updates and articles of this year's HN8 and I thought why not do like a little vlog video thing to bring you around the whole theme park to see what's going to happen when Infinite Fear is finally unleashed in Universal Studios Singapore next Thursday. Okay, so this year the park has retained a very iconic entrance arc. On the left we have Lucifer from the Illuminati Haunted House, the Yin Demon from the Pagoda of Peril, and then over here we have the Demogorgon from Netflix Stranger Things. This is Gaia, or Mother Nature, from the Apocalypse Earth Scare Zone, that'll be in New York. So yeah, exciting things are happening here at Horror Nights 8. Let's not miss the icons that are inside here. Lady Oiwa from the Haunting of Oiwa Haunted House, and Cannibal Chief, of course the chief of the Cannibal Tribe and Scare Zone. Over this side we have the last two icons, Pontianak and Zombie, and their respective attractions. New merch, let's go take a look here. So for Halloween Horror Nights this year we have Stranger Things merchandise. So we have this cap that looks like Dustin's cap. The t-shirt design this year is 11. This should be quite a collectible item. If you want to buy something, maybe you just get this and Dustin's cap. So this year, Hollywood is not used as a scare zone, but we have something new this year called Infinite Fear, which is the theme of this year's Halloween Horror Nights. So this is the opening scare movie stage for Halloween Horror Nights 8. The show, which I said earlier, is called Infinite Fear, is about this 8-late psychiatric hospital and things will just take a turn for the worse and yeah, they'll unleash infinite fear here. So this year, instead of just putting the show on once at 7:30 when the park opens for Halloween Horror Nights 8, they decided to redo the show a few times every night. So I think maybe twice a night or maybe 3 times for peak nights. So don't worry if you come to the park late or you are standing too far behind, you can't get a good view even though there's a screen. You can always come back here and catch the show again. So yeah, in New York they have 2 horror attractions here. Firstly is the Illuminati Haunted House, which will be, the entrance is here, they haven't got a sign up yet. But this will be a haunted house of Chinese vampires based in Hong Kong and I don't know where else, but it looks really exciting. So the iconic character inside is called Lucifer. It sounds like Lucifer, but I think he's just a man of secrets and we don't know who he really is actually. And over here in New York this year we have Apocalypse Earth. This is, I guess, a sequel of the Apocalypse series. So in Halloween Horror Nights, the first one in 2011, I think it was called Post-Apocalyptic Rage. Then I think they did another zone called Total Lockdown, and then there was Demoncracy, and yeah, aliens have invaded here before. They call it the Invaders, so you can always remember that. And what else happened here? Oh yeah, the March of the Dead was here as well. I think I'm missing one thing. Oh yeah, the Vampire Zone. I can't remember what it's called. Attack the Vampires, Invasion of the Vampires. So this year, don't miss this zone because I think the lighting effects will be really cool. Just by looking at the extensive lighting structures over here, it looks insane. And they will have a projection show here of the 6 massive HD things you can see over here. And it will be on this gigantic wooden branch of iron pasting. Got the eyes added this week. Yeah, so this is the Apocalypse Earth Scare Zone. And here at the Rockefeller Building facade, this is where the Stranger Things Haunted House queue entrance were at. So I had a chance, thanks to Resorts World Sentosa, to go into the Stranger Things maze and I have to say that it is really incredible. So I actually rewatched a few episodes of Stranger Things after I've been to the haunted house, and it was just so uncanny how USS has managed to bring many of the iconic scenes to life. I mean, it's not as spacious as everyone would think, and obviously in Singapore we don't have like so much space and sound stage to do incredible sets, but it really had the essence of the show. And the great thing is that they didn't waste any space to build those black corridors, which the Hollywood Maze had so many. It's such a waste. So anyway, back to Scare Zones. After Apocalypse Earth and continue walking here, you will end up at Sci-Fi City, which has always taken a break from Hollywood Horror Nights because of, I don't know why, they never explained to me, but they only did a zone here once called The Void. That was in the first Halloween Horror Nights in 2011, and then yeah, things have gotten quiet there, maybe because Battlestar Galactica is so noisy, and maybe for safety issues they shouldn't do anything here. I mean, the closest thing they did something here was when the March of the Dead passed through it. Haunted house is called Haunting of Oiwa, which is based on a very famous Japanese horror story, also known as Yotsuya Kaidan. So this is the most famous Japanese ghost story, and it's quite fascinating because this is the origin of all Japanese horror basically. Like Ringu and Ju-on are based on this story, obviously, or completely in some ways. Even in Japan they don't do this. I thought it was a curse, maybe that's why they don't want to do it, but I guess Singapore is, always very daring to do original concept, and they really want to scare us, I guess. Maybe the curse is real and the scares will be even more real. Here's the scare zone. So the interesting thing is, there hasn't been a scare zone in the ancient Egypt zone of the park for several years now. I think the last one was the Canyon of the Curse in Halloween Horror Nights 4. That's like 4 years ago. Yeah, it's quite exciting to have a scare zone back here because it's such a big, wide open area, and which means they need to use a lot of props to make you feel like transported you into a new place. So there are like many of these quite exotic looking things and tribal looking things. I don't know how to describe them, but it's just really very interesting. And there are like some strange modern items that found their way into props here. So I guess that gives a hint of what happens to the victims that were consumed literally by the cannibals. Also this year there is a show in this scare zone. It's called Blood and Bone, and it will be held at the obelisk of ancient Egypt. So previously, alright, actually they had a zone here called Beast Club, I think in HN 5. Yeah, because 6 they had a parade here. So there'll be a show here about a sacrifice. I guess someone will be sacrificed, and we didn't found like what is the sacrifice. Here, can you see? So along this side of ancient Egypt, as you approach the Anubis warrior statues, there are even more props here, more cages, I guess more victims of the cannibal tribe. We've actually not really seen how the cannibals look like except for their chief, which made a few rounds at road shows recently. I guess they were all dressed the same. This is actually my 4th or 5th round going around the park because, first round photos, checking stuff, second round, meet some stuff, and then third round, met some friends. And you just end up going around and around and around, and definitely the park is not that huge. If it's your first time coming to Halloween Horror Nights, you should know that this event is meant to be scary. There are 2 main types of horror attractions here, one being the scare zone, which I'm walking through one of them right now, again, the cannibal scare zone. So these are open areas where you just walk through and you get spooked, or there are like cool things to see. The other ones are haunted houses. These are really quite compact and intense horror attractions where you will move in usually quite a packed Congo line because there's a lot of people inside, and there are many special effects, and you just get scared every 5 seconds or less. So because these haunted houses are houses, you need to queue in line for them. So typically, on a good night, without too many people, you can probably wait about 30 minutes to an hour for one house. On a crazy night, maybe up to 3 hours for a house. And I think since Stranger Things is so special this year, it might be the 3-hour house. We never know. So after walking through the Cannibal Scare Zone, see the Pontianak Haunted House. This is based on another very iconic ghost from the region. And I don't think any of the other Universal Studios parks have done a house based on the Pontianak, which is a Malay ghost. You get to experience the full story, such as her coming back to life as a vengeful spirit and haunting people, and then you know how the Pontianak stories is where she will appear, everything in the banana trees, behind, I don't know, hanging sheets, so don't do your laundry at night, and then look at windows out at night because that's where the Pontianak usually hangs out. So yeah, I'm just walking around this queue area and speak at the same time. But yeah, there's nothing much to show you right now anyway. Yeah, I don't think there's anything scary inside here. Yeah, it's just trees and stuff. So after Pontianak comes the zombie laser tag this year in Jurassic Park. There are no dinosaur zombies, unfortunately. That would be really exciting to have be chased by a zombie raptor, I guess. But anyway, this zombie laser tag is a separately charged attraction, so you need to book. You need to buy your tickets to this attraction, and I think the booth to buy tickets is just on the left side of this entrance. It's an experience unlike any other house because you can actually do something here, like wielding a laser rifle and shooting zombies. You don't actually kill them because that's the fun in that, right? So you just, I don't know, shock them and they're coming alive and you just shock them again and again. So anyway, this year they are using the entire Jurassic Park zone to build the zombie laser tag. And they say the game area will be double. I think they could be quite right about it because this is an entire themed area in USS and it's frankly quite big. So I just walked around this little building here that they built just for one night. It's the pickup point for zombie laser tag and the drop-off point for the laser rifle. So there's nothing much to see now since it's in the day, but zombies been lurking behind all these fences and dangerous looking props. I mean, okay, let me bring it over to the other side. It doesn't really like Jurassic Park anymore with all this danger, warning, attention, shoot zombies in the face, warning, decent people will not be damaged. Yeah, so if you're playing zombie laser tag, please make sure you're not with it. Otherwise you can't leave the theme park, you'll probably be left here until you become a zombie and then you just gotta work here for 2 nights or 5 nights. So yeah, you become a free character for that. Yeah, but all these fences were added this week. And then there's this sign, infinity sign. I don't know why it's here. Special area for zombie stuff here. And then they added this next recently. So this place is also a spot where you could peek at another haunted house for the Waterworld Maze, and we have this here, Pagoda Apparel is over here. You can see the pagoda, it's up, people. All these attractions will not be open during holidays because it'll be so weird, right? All these kiddie rides. And of course, Canopy Flyer will be so oppressive to have people flying and screaming above you. So since the whole area of Jurassic Park will be used for zombie laser tag, we'll most likely not be able to walk around here. We probably need every inch of space to cold again. So there are all these pathways that you could usually walk through are probably not going to be open. So this is my shortcut to get to the Water World maze. And like I said just now, the maze over here is called the Pagoda of Peril. Alright, so that's Water World and the Pagoda of Peril on the house entrance over there. I had to cut the video because the Velociraptor encounter was so noisy, I can't even hear myself speak. So that's all for the horrifying experiences to expect at Halloween Horror Nights 8. And the remaining 2 zones in USS, which are far, far away in Madagascar, this will be not scary, I mean compared to everything else. And you can just chill out here. Some rides will be open, they're not so thrilling. Sometimes you just need a break, you know, like after the Pontianak, you need to see something else that's green. You can come to Shrek for the adventure and watch Scared Shrekless. Yeah, if you want to. It'll be quite comfortable because there'll be aircon and there are seats, you know, I've actually seen some people going there to sleep because they are so tired after like 3 haunted houses. They are done for the night. In the Madagascar zone, you can, I think the King Julian's Party Go Around will be open. That's the merry-go-round ride. And yeah, I don't think anything else will be available here. If you are going to the houses at the Jurassic Park end of USS, the Madagascar zone is a quite useful shortcut. It's actually not that short, but the good thing is there wouldn't be a lot of people and there are no props and scare actors. Because the other way, on the right side from Hollywood, is filled with scare zones and you know, it'd be so crowded. So this space here, usually there's nobody here and it's quite calm and peaceful to walk through. So yeah, just take a note of that. If it's your first time here, you may want to start from this end of the park to get the houses straight away. You know, skip all the scare zones and you know, start from a high. Don't build up because some people can't take that anyway. Just get a show of your life first and then work downwards from there. Alright, so we're back at Hollywood. And I'm actually here today with my friends, Tommy and Cindy, and they actually suggested that I run a little contest to celebrate this first vlog. So, the idea is to spot how many times they appeared in this vlog, and I'll pick a lucky winner with the right answer, and you get a prize. And what prize? Actually, I'm not sure yet, but it'll be something really cool. Okay? Something that you can't buy, maybe can't buy anymore. And yeah, I'll see you next week for the Halloween Horror Nights 8 trip report video. I'll be here at night 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, so if you know how I look like, come say hi. And yeah, hope you enjoy Halloween Horror Nights 8 when it opens. So yeah, oh yeah, also, please hit subscribe so they can get more of these vlogs if you like them. And yeah, see you next week on YouTube.